Blessed to be part of your day on KIDO Talk Radio, 107.5 FM, 580 AM. Phone numbers 580-5436, 580-KIDO. If it isn't our own Yankee Doodle Dandy, Tea Party Bob joins us now on KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, Tea Party Bob.
What is this Yankee Doodle Dandy?
I'm a Yankee Doodle Dandy.
You know, a quick comment on the fireworks. The jails wouldn't be filled if we arrested all of the violators because they're already filled. But we would have to spend more money on shipping them out to another state. I do agree with you. The aerial fireworks just are too dangerous. I mean, I saw them around my house last night. We have a guy that owns Fat City who lives in the neighborhood. And my God, it was like an aerial display here.
I don't understand. I really don't understand the fixation with these neighborhood fireworks displays. I thought I was in Beirut in 83 last night, and those of you that remember Beirut in 83, that was not a good time.
It was. You know, I'm not sure who that person was. I'm not sure who that person was that you had on that was saying they threw fireworks around, but he needs to have his head examined.
That was Eric, one of our more conservative guys from Cuba.
Yeah, well, he needs to get a little more conservative with the dangerous fireworks until he's seen the damage to kids that have had their fingers blown off or have been blinded, or the thousands of acres that have been burned and the houses and businesses that have been damaged. It would cost millions of dollars. Nobody gets this. What the hell is the matter with people?
You bring up a very good point. And since we're kind of the local franchise of the media equalizer, and the media is always looking for ways to appeal to people, where were the public service announcements concerning don't handle the fireworks or you're going to get your fingers blown off or, gosh forbid, burn down somebody's home?
Where is the change in the law to stop it? That's the real question.
Well, we passed the law and they don't enforce it.
Well, where is the enforcement? I mean, the question is, why don't we do something about it?
They say they can't enforce it.
It's pure stupidity. And because they don't want to enforce it.
Well, you know what they're saying. They say they can't enforce it because there's too many people in the pokey.
Arrest enough of them and they'll stop it.
Yeah. You know what
they've done it in other towns. They've done it in other cities.
You remember last year we urged Ada County to deputize you and me, and we would have driven around and put people in the back of the Team Subaru paddy wagon.
Look, I've done it in my neighborhood when I was on the homeowners committee. I've gone around and told people to stop. You know what they do? They laugh at you. If you don't have a police car that's in front of their house saying we're going to arrest your butt if you don't stop it, they won't stop. They're stupid. And I say, you cannot fix stupid, Kevin.
It's not looking good for Montana, is it?
No, well, I'll tell you, there will be no blue wave in Idaho.
Well, I mean, but we're always talking about where we're going to move. I mean, we thought about Wyoming, but I don't think Montana's
I don't know whether
either.
that's any good anymore. Maybe we go to Panama.
Panama.
They have a government down there. They have a government down there that's worse than what we have here.
Well, why would we go somewhere worse?
Well, it's going to get a lot worse here when we have Little It for another 4 years.
Oh.
That's like having Otter's twin.
But here's the other thing. Back to what Tom Munn said, and you missed that, at 580-5436, 580-KIDO.
I didn't miss it at all.
I'm just saying for the people that might have, that maybe they were sleeping because they stayed up late shooting off fireworks, he said that people are going to sit on their hands. I don't see that happening.
Look, elections have consequences, as you said. And obviously 65% of the people in Idaho who didn't vote in the primary haven't figured that out yet. And now they're going to face the consequences of 4 more years of our policies and payoffs for the cronies. Look at the corruption. 12 years. We had the CCA scandal, the Wi-Fi scandal, the wasted money on the programs purchased by the Department of Education, the state health care exchange. I mean, take a look at all the money, hundreds of millions flushed down the drain.
And in the end?
Or how about the veto on a grocery tax or the CBD oil? When are people going to get pissed off enough to throw these cronies out of office?
I don't
get it.
You could say
I just don't get it.
that the people want the cronies because All the conservatives got thrown out of office.
Well, I guess when you have 36,000 of them working for the government, they can control the vote. What can I say?
Well, you know what you need to do? And this is...
I need to run for office.
Well, I'm going to say this to you. I told you should have run for governor, and you said, no, no, no. You have no one to blame but yourself. Our little Yankee dude.
Yeah, I'm just as old as Trump. I'm sure I'd catch a lot of baloney.
You could have caught the red wave. Instead, you're stuck with me.
Instead, I'm stuck with the government that we have. I like you. I don't like the government.
Instead,
it's the worst bunch of bureaucrats I have ever run into in my entire life.
Instead, you're stuck with the Treasure Valley Cherub.
I'd rather have the Treasure Valley Cherub. Why don't you run for governor? You'd make a good governor.
I'd probably have to lose weight. Nobody elects a fat man.
Yeah, but you're on a way to doing that.
Yeah, well, I've been on that weight for doing that for about 20 years now. I need to make that
happen.
I
know. I saw you through 22 pounds of it.
Yeah.
The problem is you put it back on again.
Exactly. The food is just so delicious. Anyway, back to the fireworks.
I do miss you down at the gym. I have to tell you that.
They don't miss me sweating all over the place at the gym.
Baloney. Well, you got to see. You're small compared to some of the people that are down there now.
They got a lot of fatties at the gym?
Oh, wow. They're working out, though. They are trying to get down there. That's a great thing.
God bless them for that. And by the way, let me just say this. To the people that have a surplus instead of a deficit, which you're doing better than the federal government, God bless you for going to the gym and doing that. That is an intimidating place if you're not looking like Tea Party Bob or the other Adonises there. So I admire those people that go in there and start, or like me, restart again and again and again.
Well, we're going to get you back in shape one way or the other, but I will tell you, you're absolutely right about these fireworks. We need to change what's going on here, but we need to change government here, too.
Yeah.
Tom is 100% right. I mean, he's 100% right. People don't go out to vote, and we wind up with idiots for another 4 years. Well, not all idiots. Some of them are good.
I was trying to say something funny, but I've lost my yuck powers.
You never lose those.
Tea Party Bob?
You're Mr. Yuck at the radio.
Yes, ha. I will see you later.
You have a great day, my friend. Talk to you.
All right, Tea Party Bob. McKaylee and Cuna with Kevin Miller at KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning.
Hey, Kevin. Listen, those aerial fireworks, I agree that, like anything else, if you're not handling it correctly, it can be dangerous. It's the same thing with handling a firearm properly, driving properly, using utensils properly. Aerial fireworks, I have fired those things off since I was a kid, and never once did I or the people that I was with use them incorrectly or deliberately started any fire or caused any property damage. Now, this is not to say that there are people out there that are highly irresponsible and should not have their hands on them, but you don't punish the masses for the mistakes of 2 or 3 morons. You just don't do that. And so, as far as shooting them off, the law should change to where if you buy fireworks, you sign an affidavit, and if you cause property damage or cause a fire, then you're held 100% responsible for it, up to prison time. That should be the law, not banning fireworks or just have the goofy little ones that, pop off in the street. I mean, let people enjoy independence and celebrate as it needs to be celebrated, responsibly, of course.
Right, then we should just get rid of that state law.
It should be changed to something similar to what I suggested. Sign an affidavit stating that you will be solely 100% responsible if that's the case. I mean, if all these bureaucrats in office are worried about that, and I'm not saying that there isn't some justification for it, but still, I mean, we got to do it with reason. Because, I mean, like I said, people can use cars to kill people. People can use alcohol to kill people because they drink too much, they get behind the wheel, and they end up killing somebody. So do they ban alcohol? No, they haven't. They did once upon a time, but they haven't since. So it's just a matter of using some good logic, good reasoning, and not like Tea Party Bob. I see where he's coming from, and I don't disagree with him wholeheartedly, but good grief. I mean, there's got to be some leeway there with some common sense. And I think that's why last night out there in Cuna, the people firing off the aerial fireworks, everybody was safe about it. And I didn't hear any local law enforcement cracking down on anything. And as a matter of fact, there's a couple of them patrolling my neighborhood, and everything was copacetic. So, people can't be responsible. And, of course, I'm not speaking for everybody, but so.
Aren't we making liars of the people that sign the affidavit that they're not going to use the fireworks? Because don't you sign an affidavit that you're buying them and you're not going to use them in the state of Idaho?
No, the FDR I'm referring to should.
No, I know where you. No, I understand your proposal,
right.
McKaylee, but I'm talking about when people buy the fireworks now, that they have to sign an affidavit that they're not going to use them in Idaho.
Well, when I bought my fireworks a couple of days ago, there was nothing for me to sign. So, and I use mine responsibly. I always have, always will. I mean, of course, it's all has to do with upbringing. If you're brought up properly to do things proper way, you're going to be safe in what you do. You're brought up irresponsibly, you're going to be irresponsible. And like I said, there are those people that are highly irresponsible that I wouldn't even trust to carry a weapon. But, it comes with the territory. And if people or the law starts cracking down on every little thing to such an extreme, then nobody's going to be able to do anything. And, what's the point?
McKaylee, we will echo your comments and see if we can get some reactions here this morning.
All righty. You have a good one.
Thank you, brother.
All right.
580-5436, 580-KID. Really, it comes down to this. Fireworks are going off all over the place. Are we talking about banning fireworks? No. Then get rid of this silly, ridiculous law where you have to sign an affidavit saying that you're not going to use them in the state of Idaho, that you're going to use them somewhere else, because we've turned our state into a state of liars. And you don't have to live, you just have to live anywhere in the Treasure Valley. Everyone's shooting off fireworks. Now, make the case for me, with all due respect. Can anybody make the case for me that shooting off fireworks has anything to do with Independence Day? Oh, that's a stretch. Okay, you tell me going to Big Willie's fireworks stand, what does that have to do with the Founding Fathers? Kevin Miller, KIDO Talk Radio. Blessed to be a part of your day. Kevin Miller in the morning. Getting a lot of feedback from people this morning on fireworks. Got a couple people, our friend Chad saying, hey, pretty good topic this morning. Thank you, Chad. Our friend Todd saying, yes, I can make the case for our Founding Fathers wanting fireworks. There's numerous documentation from John Adams, Thomas Jefferson, and George Washington, and many others of the signers of the Declaration of Independence and those who put together the U.S. Constitution, who encouraged the celebration of the 4th of July with fireworks and celebration. Jubilee so far. So, yes, there is a voice for it. I don't know. And by the way, on Facebook, Chris saying, to the guy who claims to be using aerial fireworks safely, does he have any control over where they come down? If a fire was started, how would you prove it was him? I agree with you, Chris. And in fact, we are the voice of the silent majority here in the Treasure Valley. And I know a lot of you agree with me. In fact, I believe the majority of the people listening right now agree with me concerning aerial fireworks. at 580-5436, 580-KIDO. Why do I believe that? Because just like anything else, you're attacked if you disagree with the masses. You know, how patriotic are you? Boo-hoo-hoo. You're a bad person. Boo-hoo-hoo. No. I just don't think it's very patriotic, in my opinion, and yours opinion is welcome here as much as mine, to be shooting off fireworks at 11 or 12 at night, especially if you live in a cul-de-sac or a neighborhood, not even a cul-de-sac, if you live in a neighborhood where your houses are so close together. And I can remember, again, people in the street, blah, 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 doing all these wonderful things, shooting things off. What's one of the biggest causes of stress in our lives? Regret. I don't know. I would be scared to death, but you can call me squishy, that if I lit off aerial fireworks, I'd cause some damage to somebody's property. I wouldn't want to do that. Oh, what's the harm? Oh, tell that to the people of the fire at Table Rock. Oh, what's the harm? Tell that to all the fires going on just 30 miles outside of Denver, Colorado. So, you can handle this one of two ways. People can continue to ignore the law. People can continue to sign the affidavits and lie and shoot off their aerial fireworks. And you have the people saying, no big deal. We can't enforce it. We can't stop it. Too many fireworks, criminals running around loose. And when is too late? I'll tell you, 10 o'clock, they should be done. Here's the other one. If everyone's going to shoot off fireworks, let's get rid of the towns shooting off the fireworks. Save some money there. At 580-5436, 580-KIDO. Again, the world is not according to Kevin Miller, as Mrs. Miller tells me every night and every day. I wish that it were. But if I ruled the world, or just the Treasure Valley, enforce the law or get rid of it. Or get rid of the noise. Could you make fireworks that are noiseless? Conservative Steve, good morning. You're on KIDO Talk Radio with Kevin Miller. Hello, sir.
How you doing, Kevin?
Oh,
Well,
being a curmudgeon today,
thing,
and you?
It's the same thing going on. I was telling them, your screener there, last weekend up at my property up in the mountains, man, in the middle of the forest, one of the dudes, a cabin over or two, was shooting aerials up in the middle of the forest, man. Bottle rockets and aerials, and basically, Kevin, that's the same people that when you're going up Highway 55 in the evening, they'll throw out a cigarette butt with a cherry on it and then wonder how come the hill's blazing 2 hours later. The same folks, man. It's endless. We have seen so many people driving up 55 and you just see the old cigarette come out of the old pickup truck bouncing across the road and you got dry grass 2 feet high on each side. What do you think's going to happen? It's just insanity. It's crazy. Shooting bottle rockets and aerials in the forest. We were just like, oh my gosh, really? So, but anyway.
I agree with you. I mean, where's the consideration of everybody else?
Anyway. I agree with you. I mean.
All right, Conservative Steve, a little feedback there on the phone. Coming up next, Art, who has a solution for the fireworks in Boise. First, traffic and weather together, KIDO Talk Radio.
I'm just Channel 7's Eric Everett.
And let's go to Boise. Art joins us now. Good morning, Art.
Hello there, Kevin. It's been a while since you and I have talked. I've listened to this debate regarding fireworks, and I understand your position.
Thank you, brother.
Because you have to get up early in the morning, and, it's a function that's necessary. But, this is based upon Francis Scott Key, Oh Say Can You See? And by the dawn's early light.
It got me
So
on
the
that one.
proper location would be to shoot the fireworks off on July 4th before the sun comes up, not at midnight. So that's number one. Number two, there is a hazard to it, but just as we have stadiums to play football and all that kind of stuff, we could have a fireworks park where everybody goes and brings their fireworks there. There's no houses around. and all that kind of stuff, and you shoot off whatever you want. It's important because it symbolizes the Declaration of Independence, 1776. It's the core of this country. It's a reminder, and that's what George Washington was aware of, and the Founding Fathers. People are busy in their lives. Periodically need a reminder. It's a national holiday. When I was young, I lived in Lake Forest, Illinois, and they would shoot off all kinds of fireworks. I remember having a Roman candle that had 100 shells in it. The thing was 11 feet long.
Ooh.
I was a little kid. I could barely hold it. And we'd have cherry bombs and ash cans, and yes, you could get yourself injured, but that comes with freedom. I don't like the idea that the government says, we're doing this for your safety.
Isn't that, what
We'll
do they call
make
those?
that per-
Didn't they put like M80s in toilets and all that too?
Yes, they did.
Yeah,
I did it myself.
yeah,
I blew the toilet up. Well, I had to replace the toilet. It was a lot of fun. They can
Wait
be
a minute,
trained.
it's a lot of fun blowing up the toilet.
Yeah, because it was like Old Faithful.
Did you blow it up in your house or somewhere else?
Oh no, we had a toilet outside. We filled it with water, and these will burn underwater, right?
Right.
And we put the lid on it, lit it through the lid, and slammed the lid down and ran away. And I'll tell you, that damn toilet lid, it must have gone up maybe 15 feet in the air. It was wonderful. But on top of that, it wasn't just shooting firecrackers off and stuff. We had a small tradition in our neighborhood. We would pull out a copy of the Declaration of Independence and break it out. And so someone would read, one or two paragraphs, and they'd put off an aerial salute. Then the next person would read a few more. And we taught the kids what it was about. People do not understand, and they do not know, because they have forgotten or the knowledge has been withheld from them, that the Founding Fathers got their notional ideas to design the Constitution of the United States from the Holy Bible. And it came out of the section of the Bible, the book of Isaiah, chapter 33, verse number 22. That's where it all comes from. So that's why you have a three-legged government, and we're waiting for the fourth leg to return. The history of this is so deep that I think I'm just going to have to start a class to teach people. I don't know. But I am all for shooting fireworks off. I do not believe that they should have any ordinances against it, but if you want to have some type of safety added to it, the Solomon solution would be to find an area where you can go. Maybe the farmer who's not going to play says, okay, here's 20 acres of land. Just bring them out here, and I'll charge you $5 to use the land because I have to clean the place up at the end. And just have a good time. But do it in the morning, because it's the Francis Scott Key song, by the dawn's early light. It doesn't say by midnight. So that's the way to fix the problem. Everybody's happy. Catch you later. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Sounds good to me. You're listening to Kevin Miller, KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, Doug.
Good morning, Kevin.
Kevin Miller in the morning here, KIDO Talk Radio. Coming up, Mark in Boise and others will be taking your phone calls on the fireworks and how in the world fireworks became such a part of our Independence Day celebration. My point being that, yes, we celebrate our independence, but how many people buying the fireworks, waking people up, scaring the heck out of all of our pets last night, scaring the heck out of all of us? Really, we're doing that to celebrate America? Or in other words, they wanted to, boom, just blow something up, right? That's the point that I'm trying to make. By the way, Terry from State College, Pennsylvania. Kevin. Come on, Kevin Miller. Fireworks are an expression of our joy for our freedom. God has blessed America. We need to ever remind our children that this is a blessing. King David was so excited about his blessing. I don't know. Did King David use the fireworks, Terry? I don't know. That he danced wildly. Well, dancing's a lot less noisy than the aerial display all over the Treasure Valley last night. Joining us now, Jared the Heat Halpern from Fox News Radio, talking about the hottest topic between now and the next time the president says something. Who will be the next Supreme Court justice? Good morning, sir.
How are you?
Not bad. So it's down to the final 7?
It seems like maybe the 6. some question as to whether or not Senator Mike Lee remains on the list. He certainly had a conversation, it sounds like, with the president, but that has been described as something maybe other than an interview. So it would seem that at this point, the president's current thinking is these 6 appeals court judges, which is obviously the traditional sort of trajectory one takes to become a Supreme Court justice. So not all of them have been on a federal appeals court for very long, and some of the names are familiar in that they were included in the last search. Judge Thomas Hardiman, for instance, was thought to have been the runner-up in the search that led to Neil Gorsuch. One thing that has been talked a lot about Hardiman, he sits on the same federal appeals court as the one that President Trump's sister was a judge on. I think she's in senior status now.
So it's anybody's ball game.
Well, at least these 6. If you're not one of these 6, I assume you're out of the ball game. But listen, this is an announcement that we don't expect to be made until Monday evening, and so a lot can change, no doubt, between now and then. And we'll see if the president, maybe over the weekend we learn that the list is narrowed further. The president may have additional meetings, additional conversations with some of these judges. But it's clear that they're running largely the playbook that they ran with Neil Gorsuch, right? Working off this list that was compiled even before President Trump was elected. Remember, he had sort of put out these lists that were vetted in large part by these conservative judicial organizations to lay out his case for why he should be able to pick this Supreme Court vacancy, which at the time was caused by the death of Antonin Scalia. So using that playbook of sort of here are the judges we're working off of, and then trying to do this as quickly as possible. The new Supreme Court term begins the first Monday in October. I think that's October 1st. No doubt the administration and the Republican Senate would like to get somebody on the bench before then, at least by then. And so if that's the time frame you're working on, the process probably does need to begin. If you look at the Gorsuch playbook, I think it took around 60 days, just over 60 days, about 2 months from nomination to confirmation. This nominee will have to meet with individual senators, maybe a lot of individual senators. Then there's going to be a day or two, probably 2 days of hearings in front of the Judiciary Committee. There will be other people who speak on behalf of the nominee, and then you start to get to the votes. And as we've talked a lot about, the Republican Senate is a narrow majority. You're going to want to make sure that if you don't have every single Republican on board, that maybe there's a few Democratic votes out there as well. It sounds like that's something that the White House has been mindful of, reaching out specifically to the 3 Senate Democrats who voted for Neil Gorsuch last year.
And a few of them are, well, you have Tester, you have the person from North Dakota, and others that are
Heidi Heitkamp and Joe Manchin,
right? That are running
who
for
are all
re-election.
running for re-election. Yes, Joe Donnelly running for re-election in Indiana. So there is a list of Democrats out there who are certainly gettable. You also have some of these, as we said, some of these have been recently confirmed judges to federal appeals courts, and not all of. And in those confirmation hearings, there were Democrats who voted for some of these judges. So, you start working off that too. If you voted for them on the appellate court, what's your reason for not voting for them on the Supreme Court? Well, obviously, because the Supreme Court's more important than the appellate court, right? But it's sort of, added pressure on some Democrats if that's what you're looking to do to create some space, particularly if you have questions about, 1 or 2 Republican senators maybe not being fully on board. And you have heard some Republicans express some concern, not necessarily with specific people on that list, but certainly, listing some things that they would be wary of if, somebody were confirmed that you'd look at somebody like, Susan Collins, Lisa Murkowski, who, are not inclined to vote for somebody who they think is going to move to overturn Roe v. Wade. One of these judges has faced some criticism from Senator Rand Paul about an appellate court opinion that was written about the Affordable Care Act. So listen, these are high stakes, and it's even more high stakes when you have a pretty narrow majority and a slim margin of error to work with.
Jared, we appreciate it. So much for a slow July.
Right. Yeah, I think it's going to be a pretty busy August and September as well.
Thank you, sir. Take care.
Sure thing.
Jared Halpern joining us. Let's get to Mark, who's been very patient in Boise on KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, Mark.
Thanks, Kevin. Hey, I wanted to point out a complete error in the historical facts that the previous caller, not Jared, made about Francis Scott Key. He was born in 1779, which would have been 3 years after the birth of our nation. So the Rocket's Red Glare had nothing to do with Francis Scott Key. That was the War of 1812 outside of Baltimore. So a little bit of knowledge in somebody can be very dangerous.
Yes, he was held captive, right, on the boat. Isn't that correct?
I think he was just observing it over Fort McHenry.
Yeah.
So
what do you make?
Best rationalization for fireworks on the 4th of July.
What do you make of that, though? Because people say, "Oh, this is our right," this, that, and the other, and I'm thinking, well, your right to put your needs ahead of everybody else. And here's the deal: you want to shoot off fireworks, then get rid of the state law that you sign this affidavit saying you're not going to shoot them off. It's ridiculous.
I think simple fireworks should be fine. I think the aerials should be illegal. We had people drive by our place last night after midnight and were firing bottle rockets trying to fire them over our house, complete strangers. So if they missed, they're simmering on the top of my house right now.
See, that's the scary part of it that no one wants to talk about, and it scares the heck out of me that these idiots are going to cause my house to burn down.
Right. And I think, do it at a reasonable hour. Unfortunately, it stays light here in Idaho until 10:30 or so, but knock it off before 11. Some folks like myself have to work in the morning.
I agree, Mark. Thank you for the call.
Thanks.
Thank you. 580-5436, 580-KIDO from our friend Bruce. Where is our friend Bruce? In the eyes of many Americans, the 4th of July is a great day for parades, barbecue, and, of course, fireworks. The tradition got started at the beginning of our nation's history after the Founding Fathers met in Philadelphia to write and sign the Declaration of Independence. A day after the Continental Congress adopted the Declaration on July 4th, 1776, John Adams, soon the second president of the United States, penned a letter to his wife, Abigail, declaring Independence Day ought to be solemnized with pomp and parade, with shows, games, sports, guns, bells, bonfires, and illuminations from one end of this continent to the other, from this time forward forevermore. 1 year later, in 1777, Philadelphia celebrated the anniversary with fireworks, which Adams dubbed Illuminations, plus a parade commemorating Independence Day. So with that in mind, here are four fascinating sets of facts about fireworks. And thank you, Bruce, for that. On the other hand, John Adams didn't say do that in your subdivision. Didn't say that do that in your neighborhood, did he? And like I said, God forbid somebody burns down somebody's house. Oh, Kevin Miller, you're being a damper. No, I'm being a realist. In fact, tonight, I'm going to get out before I go to bed and water the roof. It'll be very exciting for me and for my neighbors that will be watching, laughing at me, which is not new for them. Joe in Meridian with Kevin Miller on KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, Joe.
Morning, Kevin. How are you doing today?
Working for a living, brother, and you?
Doing great. Hey, I understand the concern with fireworks, and I think there's some good points there in regards to safety. I also feel like it's one day a year, and, I think that's important. It's important for our country to be able to celebrate in some ways, and so there's a balance. I know people have dogs, and I understand people have concerns with noise, but at the same point in time, it is an important day in our history, and I think there's worse things that could happen in days. I think celebrating with a little bit of noise is probably endurable for me and my family if I hear that, because I know people are celebrating something that's pretty precious, and I think there is some safety concerns. I think there'd be some ways to do it where you could set things up to where people could do some of the fireworks they want to do in certain areas, and that would be legal. I think that might be smart for our city and county to do, instead of just making something illegal that you can't enforce, right? So,
Right.
I don't know. Those are just some thoughts.
Well, I go back to, if it's not enforceable, then get rid of the law and save everybody the opportunity of, saying we're going to arrest you. You're not going to arrest us. You're not arresting anybody.
Yeah. So what about putting some zones up where people could go and it's already all watered down and it's already all set and, they can go out there and do theirs. I think that makes some sense.
I would agree before they're filled up with subdivisions.
There you go.
Joe, you have a good day at work today.
God bless you, Kevin.
God bless you, brother. All right. Quickly to Mike Tracy with Kevin Miller at KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, Mike.
Morning, Kevin. Hey, one of the great things you did a couple of days ago is you brought on that veterinarian from, I think it was Ohio, that gave us a lot of great suggestions for our dogs. And
Sure.
We did a couple of those things, and it really helped. She's pretty good, though. We have a standard poodle, and she does pretty good with fireworks. A lot of dogs do not. But we went to the fireworks in Meridian last night and saw the safe way to get it done. And then we had a lot of people flying on the way drive back home. A lot of people flying those bottle rockets over the top of us as we were going home. So there are safety concerns. There's absolutely. But I appreciate the fact that you brought that veterinarian on a couple of days ago to give us some extra help.
Well, thank you. My one of my dogs shakes, and we actually have to medicate her. But like I said, Mike, 11:30, 12:30 at night, I got people firing mortars, and I'm going, "What is this?"
Yeah, absolutely. You've got to get rid of the noise. I think one of your earlier callers after 11 o'clock, forget about it.
Good points, Mike Tracy. Glad to see you made it through the fourth.
Thank you very much, and God bless you, Kevin.
God bless you, brother Mike. Stay out of trouble, would you?
You bet.
Okay, thank you. More of your phone calls next. Kevin Miller, KIDO Talk Radio. And action, adventure, excitement, enthusiasm, we roll on. Dave in Boise, good morning. You're on KIDO Talk Radio. Hello, Dave.
Hey, good morning, Kevin. I'm calling to weigh in on the fireworks discussion this morning, and I kind of look at it like this: fireworks are no different to me than firearms. And as a responsible gun owner, when I go in to purchase a weapon, I have to subject myself to a background investigation to make sure I'm a responsible adult and whatnot. You got to be over 21. And I think maybe, we need to rip a page out of the liberal playbook and just start regulating things to make it so difficult that, hold the parents responsible if their kids get their hands on fireworks and handle them irresponsibly. But I don't see between firearms and fireworks. They're both very dangerous, especially in the hands of people who are not responsible.
And who's to say how many alcoholic beverages they may be having?
Well, exactly. I mean, I don't go out on the 4th of July and start capping rounds off in the air because I know that it's illegal to discharge a firearm in the city limits, and that bullet's going to come down somewhere and could cause bodily harm. So, what's the difference between bottle rockets setting a house on fire at midnight or, shooting off a 9mm in my backyard? I think they just need to tighten up the regulations a little bit. It's against the law to fire those off. Well, I get it. It's against the law for me to fire a gun off in my backyard. I guarantee you I'd have cops in my backyard within 5 minutes if I started popping rounds off. So, maybe they just need to tighten up the regulations a little bit as far as being able to purchase the things, and, the desire to have them will just, naturally go away.
Dave, great point. Thank you. Traffic and weather together. KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, Bob.
Good morning, Kevin. Freeways are in good shape right now. Not seeing any problems there, but they're working on a crash on southbound Highway 55, south of Horseshoe Bend. Need more storage? A man cave, a she shed? Idaho Woodsheds is your most reliable choice. Quality sheds built to last at competitive prices. Visit IdahoWoodsheds.com. Buy Idaho. Buy from Idaho Woodsheds. That's Impact Directory's traffic. I'm Bob Richards on KIDO Talk Radio.
KIDO Talk Radio weather from the Channel 7 First Alert Weather Center. Good morning, Larry.
Good morning, Kevin. 102 degrees for today. We're going to cool a little bit as we see some weakening of this ridge of high pressure, but it won't go away. That's into Saturday, where we go to 92. That's still above normal. And then back to the upper 90s for the first of next week. I'm just Channel 7's Everett Gebert.
And Mark and Eagle will bring us home at KIDO Talk Radio. Mark, you got the last...
Good morning, Kevin. I'll make it real quick. My oldest son's birthday was yesterday, and coming back home from his fiance's parents' house, he said he had never seen in the 23 years that we've lived here that many fireworks going off everywhere you looked, out in the farm fields everywhere. I think it's the over-exuberance of the people who came here out of state, who decided to celebrate not only leaving the rat hole that they came from in California, Oregon, Washington, whatever, and I think that's why you saw a little bit more this year than you normally would, and probably will slow down the ensuing years.